Hey everybody, it's Jake Mace, the Vegan Athlete. Thanks for watching my Vegan Athlete YouTube channel here. I would say about 50% or so of my videos at the Vegan Athlete channel are about gardening. The other half are about my vegan lifestyle. And when I began the Vegan Athlete YouTube channel years ago, I kind of began the channel kind of as a hobby channel where I could talk about being vegan, vegetarian, and not alienate my fitness, martial arts, Tai Chi, Kung Fu, and Qigong people who are on my other channel, which is called Kung Fu and Tai Chi Center with Jake Mace. So the Vegan Athlete channel was kind of just a, on the side video blog channel about my vegan life. And since a lot of my vegan life has to do with gardening, it became a lot of gardening videos. But I hope you guys also enjoy my other videos about vegan food and what I eat in a day and just my vegan life. And I had a gardening workshop and a gardening tour and a gardening class that I taught this past weekend. And whenever I teach these gardening workshops and gardening tours and gardening classes, it's great content for YouTube because people always ask wonderful questions and things just come up during the live class that I can now share with you guys on the YouTube channel. I videoed, me and my friends from Greenie's Garden, videoed the entire garden workshop and tour. It's an 1.5 hour long YouTube video that I'm putting together right now, hopefully for uploading tomorrow, so you guys can check it out as if you were there. But basically there are 5 things that I want to talk to you guys about today. There are 5 reasons, I'll show you guys my gardening hands here, 5 reasons why you guys need to grow your own food right now at home. It is crucial you grow your own food at home. It is crucial you learn how to be a successful gardener. It's crucial that you guys turn your black thumbs into green thumbs immediately before it's too late. And whenever I teach these gardening workshops and gardening tours, I always end the gardening tour and workshop by talking to the group about one thing. And so I had a group of about 100 people in front of me this last garden tour. It's amazing. The one before this last one, there were 300 people that came to my gardening tour over the course of 2 different classes. So it's me at a very humble residence in the Phoenix area at the garden that I started back about 7 years ago, and it's 150 people per class, 2 classes, 300 people over the course of the whole workshop that are interested in growing their own food at home. So there is a movement of people out there who want to grow their own food at home. And when I'm in front of these people, 100 people, 150 people, or sometimes when I do larger conferences, it's like 500 people. And I love speaking in front of the group. And what I do at the end is I talk about how I believe personally in my heart that the vote that we cast for our political leaders is becoming less and less important every single year. When you guys go to the voting booth, whether it's for the midterm elections, whether it's for your local Congress people, council people, mayors, whatever you're voting for, or whether it's the presidential election, or whether it's propositions, no matter what you vote for, I believe that that vote is worth less and less and less every single year that I've been alive. I began voting when I was 18 years old because I turned 18 years old when Al Gore and George Bush were running against each other for the presidency. And I voted for local people, I voted for propositions, I voted for senators, congressmen, I voted for different places we were gonna put funding for our money, and I voted for the presidential election. I have never voted for the winning candidate, but I still vote, even because I think it's important. But I think it's less important every year that goes by. And the reason why I think that is because of interviews that I watch with former presidents like Jimmy Carter. And what was Jimmy Carter? He was a peanut farmer. So I tend to like to listen to the gardeners out there, especially when the peanut gardeners become president. And this interview I watched recently with Jimmy Carter was talking about how he believes that America is no longer a democracy, it's an oligarchy. And I didn't really understand what an oligarchy was, and I still kind of don't, but I did do some research on it, and it makes a lot of sense. Go find the interview with Jimmy Carter. I'll put it in the link down below once this live video is over, where he talks about America is now transitioning into becoming an oligarchy. In a nutshell, that's where different corporations can work deals with the government officials so that it's not really fair. and it's not really a free country. It's where certain corporations have worked a deal with the government so they get special treatment and special funding and special monies and special breaks that nobody else gets. And I really believe that. I believe that money and companies are running this country now more than our political leaders are. Do you guys really think that Trump's in charge of anything, or are the corporations in charge of anything? And that being said, well, I believe the corporations are in charge. And that being said, who's the president right now? A business person who's in charge of many companies. So the line, the threshold between money and public service, by public service I mean our political leaders, the line between money, companies, and public service is becoming blurred. There's no threshold anymore that separates money from people, or money from the people, money from the political leaders. It's all just mixed up. And so I believe that in today's world, I'm 35 years old now, okay? I've voted a bunch of times. In today's world, the only vote that matters is your money, is your dollars, is this stuff right here. So when I'm sitting in front of all these gardeners, like I did this past weekend, in the middle of my garden, and the house is packed and everybody wants to talk about gardening, I want to say to them, the real vote in today's world is with your dollars. If you guys want to grow a garden, but then you go to McDonald's, one of the biggest corporations in the world, or you go to Walmart to buy your groceries or anything else, you are casting a vote for those big corporations. So when the little guys and the local places have no more voice, because the big boys, like the big box stores, have all the money and the power, because money is power, like it or not, it's because you guys voted for it. We voted for it with our money. So the most important vote we can cast is with our money. So I say to you guys, vote for yourself. I want to say to you, even before you cast a vote with your dollars for local businesses, what's the most local business there is? Well, it's you. You are the most local business there is. So why wouldn't you take your money and spend it on you? Spend it on you in the form of the farmer's market, or in the form of a fruit tree, or in the form of a raised bed or in-ground garden, or in the form of soil, better soil amendments like rock dust and compost and worm castings and coconut coir. Spend your money on seeds. Spend your money on fruit trees. And build a food forest in your own property. Even if you're in an apartment and you have a patio, go get a tower garden. Go watch my video on tower gardens and grow a tower garden. Grow some basil and some herbs. Behind the camera, I have Egyptian spinach, moringa, onions, and herbs growing right now on a patio behind the camera. And my main garden, Longevity Gardens, it has over 200 fruit trees in it and 25 raised beds. And hardly any of my neighbors have a garden. Basically, only 2 other neighbors even have a garden. And just out of coincidence, one of my neighbors, Jack with Epic Yard Farm, is growing a food forest. What if everybody had a food forest in their front of their backyards? Well, the companies then, the corporations, would have no power anymore. So you guys owe it to yourself, and you owe it to me, and you owe it to the entire community at large to put the money into your own front in your backyard. When you have extra money, I know a lot of you guys have some extra money, don't invest it in the stock market. Invest it in your garden. Invest it in fruit trees. Invest it in a food forest infrastructure. And you know what happens? 5 things happen. That's the title of this video right now. 5 things happen. Okay, number 1, the 5 reasons why you should garden right now and not wait until tomorrow. Number 1, you can grow food that you can later pick in its fully ripe state. This is very powerful. It is virtually impossible for any grocery store or any restaurant to purchase food in its fully ripe state because they have to ship it. They have to stock it, and they have to store it. And so almost all the food, almost 100% of the food that you're consuming from the big stores has been picked when it's underripe, and then it's being eaten by you when it's not ripe. And what that means is it doesn't have nutrients in it at all compared to a ripe fruit. So when you're gardening and you're growing your own food, you can walk out there and pick the food off of your fruit tree or pick the food from your garden when it's completely ripe and the nutrients are all there. Now, that makes the food more tasty and sweet and delicious, Because when we describe something with our language as tasty, ripe, and delicious, we're actually describing nutrients. When something is delicious, it's full of nutrients, okay? We want to pick the food in its fully ripe state. Number 2, okay, when you buy food from the store, you don't get any variety of the food. How many of you can go to a store right now and buy more than one variety of banana? There are hundreds of varieties of bananas. There are hundreds of varieties of eggplants. There are hundreds of varieties of tomatoes. There are dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of varieties of basil. So when you guys grow the food yourself in your own front in your backyard, you can plant a wide variety of varieties. And you get to sample like 12 different kinds of eggplants maybe, or like 12 different kinds of apples, or 25 different varieties of dates, if you guys are planting date palms like I've been planting here in the Phoenix area. So you get to bombard your body with a wide variety of different foods instead of just one. And when you eat a plethora of different varieties of foods, you get more nutrients, you get healthier. Okay, number 3 reason you should garden right now, number 3, is the soil. I think the term organic is a total bullcrap term. It is nowadays. It's become a buzzword that people or that companies use to lure people in to buy their stuff. So even if you're buying something that's organic, who knows if it's even good for you? Because these companies a lot of times are friends with the people who are certifying them organic. These companies sometimes certify themselves organic. They're like self-certified. It's like the honor system. It's just ridiculous. So when you see that tag organic, who knows if if that even means healthy? Now, organic is supposed to mean healthier food. It's supposed to mean food with no pesticides. It's supposed to mean food with healthier soil that's better for you. Well, guess what? A lot of that organic food is being grown in soil that's completely void of all minerals. So when you guys are buying organic, what's the soil like? Is it just being grown in dust that's being grown too much? So the soil now is raped of all nutrients, or at least just say ripped of all nutrients, and completely void of any kind of power? Well, when you garden in your own front in your backyard, you guys can put active compost in there. You guys can put rock dust powder in there. You guys can put worm castings in there, and you can make the soil mineral rich again, full of life. And then what happens is you guys eat that food and boom, you get the strength of the olden days. I bet you $1 million that your great-grandparents were infinitely more strong than you are because the food they were eating was grown in better soil than the food that we're eating. So when you guys are growing your own garden and your own fruit trees, your goal is to make the soil come alive and to fill it with minerals so that when you eat the food later on, you are remineralizing your whole body, your organs, your blood, your muscles. Everything you have in you is getting healthier and detoxed and living longer. Okay, it's like body armor. Growing your own food with healthy soil is like body armor. Now, number 4 reason you should start gardening right now, number 4, is that it saves you money. And this is a very important thing. What's happening in today's world is that we are being charged so much for food that we have to work more of our lives away. And then we're having to move to parts of the city that are farther away from where we work. So we all have to have cars that can drive to those places of work. And then we have to work more hours to pay for those cars. We got to work more hours to pay for that food. We got to work more hours to pay for the rising costs of where to live. Because every time they build an apartment complex, that's brand new tower in town, all the other smaller apartment complexes charge more for their rent. So we're living in a time right now where everything's becoming inflated to these crazy levels. And then what has to happen? We have to slave our lives away in cubicles and offices, working inside underneath UV lights for the man or the woman in clothes we don't even want to wear, because we need to work our lives away to afford the car that brought us there and the food that keeps us going and a place to sleep at night, a place that allows us to watch just 1 hour of Netflix, Stranger Things, before we fall asleep because we're exhausted from slaving away 12-hour workdays or longer. You guys, when you could grow a significant amount of your own food in your front and your backyard, let's say 80% of your food you can grow in your front and your backyard, you're gonna realize you have an extra $1,000 or $2,000 a month in your bank account. You're gonna realize that your health goes up to the next level, so you get to see a doctor less often. When you guys grow 50 to 80 to 100% of your own food at home, you will realize that you will have more money and more health, and therefore you can work less hours. Now what happens is when you work less hours for the man slaving away for the system, you have more hours in the day to go pursue hobbies that actually bring a benefit to society. Hobbies like art and like science and like engineering and like fitness, things that actually matter. Because most of us are working jobs that don't really matter. And after our job ends, we go do things that we like to do that do matter. Well, guess what? When you don't have to work as much, you can go do those things that you love to do that actually benefit greater society at large. All right? And the fifth and final reason why you guys need to garden at home right now is because it's very relaxing and calming to the body. When you guys grow a garden, just the act of gardening is an athletic sport. To me, as the vegan athlete, I made that term up years ago when I started this YouTube channel, and at the time, I didn't know anybody else using that term vegan athlete. As far as I'm concerned, I made it up because I was trying to think of this channel being called vegan something. Should it be called vegan sports? Should it be called vegan muscle? Should it be called vegan fitness? What is a word that I could put with the word vegan to make people understand that being vegan is not being weak? Being vegan is not being a hippie. Being vegan is not being a nerd. But being vegan is athletic. Vegan athlete. And a lot of people to this day, they really thank me for calling my channel Vegan Athlete because Vegan Athlete changes the mind of people. And guess what? This channel might need to be changed to be called Gardening Athlete, because gardening is an athletic sport. When you guys are gardening, you're working out with soil, with shovels, with hardcore manual labor, but the labor of the gods, earthly labor, okay? Labor that is salt of the earth type of work. So just the fact that you're doing an athletic sport of gardening is very relaxing to the body because it helps you to flush out hormones and flush out stress. Now, when you get to enjoy the benefits of your garden by sitting back and enjoying your fruit trees, when you get to sit back and enjoy the beauty of your food forest, well, that's very relaxing. And for me, I practice a lot of meditation, and when I get to do my meditation in my garden, it's the best. I really supercharge my meditative skills in my garden, and it relaxes me to a very, very calm state. And then just the fact that you are eating healthy food from your garden will chemically relax you from the inside out. When you guys have short breaths like this, that's very stressful. When you guys drive in traffic in your cars every day, that's very stressful. When you guys go to work, it's very stressful. When you guys have to get the money, it's very stressful. Let's go to a different state. When you guys breathe deep, it's very relaxing. When you guys spend time doing hobbies that you love, like gardening, it's very relaxing. When you guys put cigarettes and alcohol and crappy food from fast food restaurants, when you put meat and dairy into your body, chemically on the inside, you're stressing your organs and your blood and your body out. So no matter how much you meditate, if you meditate all day long, but you're putting crappy stuff inside your body, you're never gonna be calm. So when you guys eat the food that you grow in your garden, it's gonna chemically create a reaction in your blood and your organs and your body. It's gonna relax you from the inside out. Now, when you combine the relaxed chemical state you'll get from eating that food, you combine it with the beauty of sitting in your garden, and you combine that with the athletic sport, the fitness side of gardening, you're a bodhisattva. You're an enlightened being. You're a relaxed warrior on earth who gets to live the rest of their lives in this relaxed, happy, and controlled state. So there you go, guys. That's what I told the class this last weekend. I thought I would share it with you guys out there. If you like videos like this that are done totally live, no editing, you guys can hit the like button for me. Comment down below what you guys think, and also tell me down below what city you're watching from. I'm always interested in where in the world you guys are located and where you're watching my videos from. And hit the bell button down below and turn on my post notifications. All the comments that you guys are leaving during this video, I really appreciate it. I'm gonna try to get in there and respond to all of them right now. And if you guys want to follow me day by day, go to my Jake Mace Tai Chi Instagram or join my Urban Farming or Urban Gardening Arizona Facebook group for gardeners. Almost 30,000 members there and almost 80,000 members on my Instagram. And the Vegan Athlete here will be hitting 100,000 subscribers in about 10 days or so. I think about 10 to 20 days. And we're almost at 10 million views. So there's 100,000 people out there that like vegan food, vegan adventures, and gardening. I love you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all back here next time.